To show you the business network, I need to start in a procurement system. I'm going to use the one you're seeing here from SAP, but it could be from any other provider. An employee will request something, in this case, first aid kits. So a purchase order was sent, and it's also nice because the employee can see that it's been confirmed and shipped. There is visibility. Let's switch to the supplier side on the business network. Here we are. The business network allows suppliers to connect to multiple of their clients, like we just saw, that was one of them. And the dashboard shows everything that is needed to know and allows many different interactions with their clients. In here, we see on the top of the ordered list, the one that we've just talked about, this purchase order for safety kits. He has already worked on this in the past, and for the sake of simplicity, I'm going to skip the pushing the button order confirmation on top and create a ship notice. It has already happened. I want to show you creating an invoice. It's a similar screen. And in here, all the data that was used to create the purchase orders is brought back. There's a couple of extra fields that needs to be completed. And in here, the supplier is going to make mistakes. He's actually going to try to cheat. He puts the invoice in the past. Hey, that's not allowed. And the system already stops him from doing this. So you're stopping an error before it gets created. So the invoice is pre-checked. And that's a big benefit because the supplier knows he won't have delays in payment, and the buyer doesn't need to do detective work and workflows and approval to make sure that this invoice can be accepted or matched. Similar things will happen on the price. There is many of those rules, but this is another example where there is a tolerance. The buyer said, well, you can maybe change 2%, but not more. This change is actually too much, so we don't let you do this change. It will be rejected. So do you want a rejected invoice, or do you want to make it compliant and be paid quickly without error? And this is what's happening here. One last overview of this invoice. Remember, most of the data here came from the purchase order anyway. And there you go. The invoice is sent and almost immediately received by the buyer. The business network can do such process as you just saw, but it can also support many other ones that I won't show right now, but things like answering an RFP or working on contract clauses, other forms of ordering, notably services, things around supply chain forecast. And then when it comes to payment, you can have payment visibility, invoice approval visibility, early payments, maintain your catalog items. So basically all the activities from the source to pay process can be done between a buyer that we're seeing and their supplier. So the procurement compliance can be achieved electronically as a collaboration between buyer and supplier. You have here an example all the way from ordering to invoicing, everything matches. And so this collaboration between buyer and supplier, buyer and another supplier, buyer to another supplier is what the network is all about. Oh, we don't want faxes and we don't want phone calls in there. It should be electronic in order to make sure that everything is compliant, fast, efficient, and doesn't need to have interaction for finding out what went wrong.